Yo, it's High Five, and in this video, we're going to look at 3 tips that can help you with your self-care and your workflow while working during the lockdown. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe, and if you want some more videos on production and mixing, check out my Patreon. So, tip 1. This is more about delegating your time, or as I like to call it, treat it like a job. So with this, it's more about, or is more focused on some of you producers that have your setup in your bedroom or in your living space, and you don't have the option of going to another space or area to work. So if you kind of fall into that category, sometimes you might find yourself that you'd be like, cool, I'm gonna work on a tune. And yeah, you get home from work, or you're on furlough, you're at home all day or whatever, you start working on the tune, and then you look at the time and you be like, cool, it's late, let me have a little listen back. And in some cases, you're not satisfied with what you produced, and maybe you might start getting, or you might lose your self-confidence or self-esteem, because you might turn around and just be like, you know what, that sounds shit. I'm not feeling that, or I spent this amount of time and that's all I was able to do. And yeah, you kind of just getting some negative thoughts, and we don't want that in the studio. There's no place for that. So in turn, why I kind of say treat it like a job, you might just come home and be like, cool, I got 3 hours, I'm gonna focus on starting an idea, or I got 3 hours to make some samples, or I got 3 hours to finish a track, or 3 hours to whatever, start my mix down. Whatever it is, that's your priority in your production. When you're in that little time window, you're gonna be more decisive, and you're gonna try to be more efficient. And these are all good practices in general when producing and making music. And it's more about kind of just using your time more efficiently, so that when you're not working, you can focus on yourself and you can really wind down and relax, so that the next time you're in the studio, you're not worrying about anything. You can just hit that at 100 and pick up where you left from. So whether you be from 9 to 4 is studio time, and you work around whatever it is that's a priority to your music career, whether you're finishing a track, or whether you're doing some admin, or whether making sounds or sample packs, whatever it is that you do, when you've got that window, you focus on that, you hit that hard, so that when you got your downtime, when you finish, you can relax, you can whatever, play Call of Duty with your team, chill with your partner, or whatever you do in your downtime. So yeah, that's the first tip. Second one is reduce distractions. This is kind of almost a given, I guess, and it is kind of something which I would hope, I guess this is kind of something which you would kind of assume off of the back of the first tip. However, you might be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and you're seeing other artists just knocking out tunes, putting out constant releases or whatever, doing live sets. And if it's not motivating you, if it's kind of breeding thoughts of self-doubt, or kind of just making you not feel confident about yourself, then it's probably best that you don't introduce that into your space while you're working. So put your phone in airplane mode, turn off the Wi-Fi to your studio computer, whatever it is, it takes you to kind of reduce those distractions, so that while you're working, you can fully focus on just knocking out ideas or finishing ideas. The third tip, this is recycling your ideas. So what I like to tell my students is that I think maybe once a month, depending on how often you're knocking out ideas, any tunes which you don't have the intention of finishing, or anything that's half cooked, bounce out the stems, put those stems into a folder, and then use that folder as your little bank of ideas to kind of go back to whenever you hit a wall in another track. So you could be working on the tune and you could be like, it's missing something, I need a melody or a bass pattern, and then you remember In fact, that melody from that last idea that will fit in this, you drop it in, you might resample it, you might edit it so that it fits properly with your new arrangement, and you're like, cool, sick. And it could potentially spark more ideas for other options later down the line. So, when you create these kind of stuff in your tunes, even if it's like a tune you never finish, at some point those ideas made sense to you. At some point those ideas were something which you felt that there was potential in. So don't let it go to waste. If you've got to slap it in another tune, or if you've got to cut it up and pitch it down or add loads of effects to it, whatever you do to it, it's your idea. Like, you're not cheating by doing that. You're not cutting corners. If you've produced and created something, use it. Like, don't let it go to waste. And maybe finally, as like a little bonus, I guess, collaboration. You're probably going to hear it being said often by many people, but it really does help with like your workflow, and it really does help with help building your self-confidence in what you're good at. I've got to shout out Notion for this, because he helped definitely myself and a lot of other my close friends that make music, helped us all kind of be motivated and motivate each other. And it was as simple as creating a WhatsApp group with all of us together and kind of just being like, listen, we're all making loops, we're all making samples and stuff like that. Why don't we all just, like, any kind of ideas we knock out, throw it in like a group Dropbox, and we all can just use it. And this can help us with our own productions. And if we're using somebody else's sound, we just treat it like a collaboration, and it's a track between one person and another. And since then, a lot of us have been more proactive and making more of an effort to create loops so that the other one can use, and vice versa. So almost like the last tip, even if you have a half-cut tune and you don't know what to do with it, send it to your friends. Be like, yo, have you got anything for this? And you never know, they might turn around and be like, yeah, this is a sick idea. You know what? This is what I'm gonna do. They send you back something and you're like, actually sick, let's go in this direction with it. And it can snowball into, a sick finished track. So collaboration, man, sharing your ideas with people you trust, people that like are like-minded. It don't have to be loads of you. Even if you've got a small circle, even if it's only 3-4 of you, then it's 3-4 of you that's sharing ideas and working on projects. So don't be shy of collaboration. Like, even if you like to consider yourself a bit of a lone wolf, nothing can ever get done by yourself. And I guess those are the kind of like the tips, which ain't limited to what we're experiencing now during lockdown. These are kind of tips and tricks which you can continue to use in your career when you find yourself meeting these kind of hurdles and obstacles which kind of slow you down. So hopefully, this can kind of help any of you that might be struggling a little bit to kind of still knock out some more tunes and keep you guys motivated. And if you have any other tips or other kind of ways to kind of just like stay productive, drop it down in the comment section. And I hope this kind of helps you guys just knocking out some amazing music. Thanks for tuning in.